We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tặng thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội cấp nhật thiết chúng sanh. Thịnh chuyên diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoát tư lý khổ đạc lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sa Đan Tô Su Chế Đô Ye Ở La Hơ Đi San Miao San Pu Tô Ye. Nam mô Đa Đắc Tha Tô Ya Đa Ya A La Ha Đế Tham Miêu Tham Bồ Đà Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma, 100,000 million aeons, is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng she wei miao fa bai qian wan jie nan zao yu, wo jin jian wen de shou chi, yuan jie ru lai zhe shi yi. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Ching Liang, Great Master YongHua, all monks and nuns, and all good advisors of Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、清凉大士、师父上人、各位出家人、各位上智士、阿弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa Thanh Lương Đại sư, Hòa thượng Thiên Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức, A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone. Today is the 26th of December, 2021. We're here at Way Mountain Temple to continue discussing the first chapter of the Avatamsaka Sutra. And thank you all for coming. First of all, this is the day after Christmas, and I don't know about you, but it's amazing how many people showed up the last couple of days. It seems like you've been neglecting your family. But I'm glad that you're here and you're able to share the meals together and time together and investigating the sutras and meditating together. It's wonderful. Okay, I really appreciate it. I remember my days when I was a novice and at my master's temple. Life is a lot more austere, and we are a lot more like truer cultivators. So we are just goofballs. I hope someday you get enlightened. If you don't get enlightened, it's sort of okay. We don't deserve to be enlightened because we don't work that hard, do we? Okay. But if you do become enlightened, I hope you become enlightened high level to people who work harder. Just to show them there's another way to become enlightened as well. Okay, and also in terms of gossiping, what happened to her? She's not here. Oh, she's here. Okay, Vicky's here. I asked her today at lunch, because there are a lot of people, so I asked her, how is your tooth? Because I haven't seen her for 2 days. Huh? And so I asked her, apparently you're still here. I mean, you're still alive. So what happened? She said something I couldn't hear her. It's so loud. I mean, our lunch hall is really, really embarrassing. In my master's temple, in the true cultivator's temple, it's so quiet, you can hear a pin drop. In our lunch hall, it is so loud, it's worse than a music concert. You hear Korean, you hear Vietnamese, you hear Chinese, you hear Espanol, all kinds of languages. It's like everyone's so happy and chattering away. Yes, Vicky, please tell us what's happening. Vicky has had, tooth infection, and she's worried about that. So the tooth infection, the first thing you do when you have medical problems is you go see medical professionals. Okay, we're not medical professionals, but tell us, please fill us in.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank everybody for all their concern on my poor little tooth. And
one tooth has all of us so concerned.
I'm so grateful that people are wondering how I'm doing and so willing to share their family tips and what they do in their country, and I really do appreciate it.
And what's the best one you heard?
Well, where's that guy?
He's disappeared.
Diego. Were you the one who told me about some root?
The Colombian style?
Yeah, something from Colombia, some root that you have growing in your garden or something. Anyhow. Well, thank you very much. But everyone has been really, really kind and helpful. From Venerable Sinshur and Venerable Sintong, and even the good doctor in Gold Forest even sent me a note.
That one? The
the doctor in Gold Forest.
Dr. Gold Forest. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she even wrote to me.
Okay, she did.
Yeah, and I even got a note
everyone is like...
Canada. I got a note from Canada about my mouth. I mean, my God. Oh, my God. Everyone.
We are truly multinational.
I know, it's so, I was so flabbergasted. So I want to thank everyone for their concern. So yeah, I could kind of touch my tooth and I feel okay now.
It's okay now? It's like no sensitivity anymore, or still a little bit? What?
Yeah, no
so
more
fast?
sensitivity.
So tell us the progression. How did it happen? Like you decided to try to save it instead of pulling it out, right?
Gosh, when was that?
After consulting with, either
I went to the dentist for my regular dental hygiene cleaning. So that was my normal thing I normally do. And once a year they do x-rays. And so at this appointment, when they did the x-rays, they were saying, gee, you did so well with all your dental cleaning. You've been very, very, conscientious, blah, blah, blah. She goes, oh, but you know what? You have an infected tooth. And I was kind of surprised because I really wasn't in any great pain. I had a little annoyance, but usually when I'm in really great pain, I know it. So
they discovered the infection before you discovered yourself.
Well, I already had this nagging little pain last June, and I thought I took care of it when I came to meditate for 24 hours. And it did seem to abate.
Area? Same tooth?
Yes, same tooth.
Okay.
And it was really in a lot of pain then. And then I seemed to abate it. I seemed to take care of it then.
June.
June.
This
right.
is 6 months ago.
Right.
Okay.
And then I started feeling a little sensitivity, but I thought, well, it's nothing really great. So I just kind of ignored it. However, then when I was at my dental exam, when they took the x-rays, they said, wow, this is really bad. I'm really sorry you did such good care in your mouth, but you can't ignore this. You need to have a root canal.
Okay.
So I went ahead. I just, okay, I'll schedule my root canal. And I scheduled it. And then I started thinking about it. And I started thinking, I think I've had too many root canals lately. And that's what got me thinking that maybe I should look at this a little more carefully, and maybe there's something more I should be doing. Okay. And that's when I wrote to you.
I see.
Asking about what else could I do? I have this root canal scheduled, but possibly could I try and take care of this another way?
Okay.
So that's the backstory on my mouth.
And then what happened?
So then I went to visit a dentist that was recommended by my master in Montebello, and we had a very nice conversation about teeth. And I asked him what you advised me to do, which was ask him if I could possibly not rush into the root canal. I mean, if I need it, I need it. But could I possibly stall it a little bit and see if I can use meditation and my spiritual practice to heal my tooth? And he says, well, yeah, you have some time. You can buy some time. He goes, but, that would be your decision. He said that he took one x-ray of the same tooth, and he said, well, what the normal course of treatment would be to have a root canal. That's just a normal course of treatment. And I brought up the possibility, well, what about alternative ways of taking care of this problem? And he says, oh, yeah, there are alternative ways, but I guess being a dentist, he couldn't really address that. Okay. But he acknowledged it. But he says, well, it's up to you, if you want to take some time to work on it. So that's why then I decided, okay, I'm going to try and work on it.
That dentist, by the way, has been a long-time disciple of Master YongHua or over there.
Oh.
So I knew him for a long, long time. And I used to go, I went once to have some teeth work done, cleaning basically, and I was impressed by him. Years later, I came back and had an occasion to come back and saw him again, and I realized I've been staying away because he's a disciple over there. I don't want to be known as someone who snatches my Shifu's disciples. So I stayed away from him totally until recently, where I decided to use him. Anyway, officially, because I'm no longer have to be worried about going around stealing people, because we established our record already. We don't need to steal disciples. Okay. He's very Buddhist, devout Buddhist. He's a very big supporter of their temples. That's why I stay away from him. And his level is about 6 samadhi, which is not bad for them people, meaning that most of them don't make progress. And the reason this guy made progress is because he's very sincere and he worked very hard. So after a few decades, to get the 6th samadhi over there is pretty good. Okay, so for the typical dental professional, he's not bad. Okay, so that's why I was. Okay, continue. And so he advised that you could try. He's open to that.
Right, and then so then I just realized, well, I'm going to have to make some time to work on this. Did I spend the night? I can't. It's all a blur now. I think one night I did spend the night here. Did I? I think I did. I'm not even sure anymore. It all blurs into. Did I spend one night here? I think I did, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
I think I did. I had to move my...
Because I basically, when she came talk to me, I said, well, you should be able to save it, especially at your level, Kung Fu, which is much higher than his.
I should.
So you should be able to do that. It shouldn't be life-threatening to you.
Right.
So you should try it. So I let you try first for a few days and delay the root canal for a week or two.
Right.
You should be safe. But so we let you try it for a few days. I said, give it 2 or 3 days, 4 days maybe. Okay. And so you decided to do something about it yourself. Okay. And so day number 2, I think you came to stay overnight. And then the next day I asked you, I said, how is your tooth? Thank you. And you said, it's a little bit better. Yeah. So it means it's right, it's trending in the right direction. Yeah. Okay. And this is to show to you that some of you, why we've been working hard is so that we're able to address these issues ourselves, take care of our health. Meaning that for that to happen, and you're able to address it, that means that you've been addressing a lot of issues in your body at your level already. And this is one of the things that a lot more serious than normal. Okay. So anyway, so she was doing well. So I said, okay, now I am convinced that my point, is correct. That is, you should be able to take care of yourself. However, it's too slow. So let me try to give you a boost. And now let me check my disciples' level, how much they can help you. Okay, and then of course there's some medication there as well. But the medication and plus our Kung Fu, 2 different approaches in solving the problem. And so you got some help, okay? And so that's 2 days ago. And you said, you feel fine, except still sensitive, yes?
Yes, that the next thing, I guess that was Christmas Eve.
Yes.
That I woke up that morning, I had spent that night before. I woke up and I felt as though the extra boost with the additional treatment that Venerable Xian Tong suggested that I do really kind of pushed me further along.
Okay.
And then I kept up with that.
So you've been doing that since the last 2 days.
Right.
And now it's normal?
Feels
now it's
normal
okay?
now.
Does it mean you need to go back see a dentist to verify, or how does that work? I don't know. I rarely go see doctors and dentists unless I really must.
Well, I doing all this stuff, I have a husband and I have to tell him what I'm doing. I can't just run off, and say, oh, honey, I'll see you later, Uh-huh. And here it is, the holidays and everything. So I had to share with him, I saw this dentist and I went and I saw that dentist for the second opinion, et cetera, et cetera. And then I'm going to go to the temple, and why am I going to go to the temple? And I have to say, I'm really grateful that he was supportive of me doing this. Mm-hmm. So his feeling is that he wondered about what if I go back to a dentist and have them x-ray that tooth.
Okay, sure.
So he would like me to do that. So I'm going to do it. So
okay, sure. It's always a good idea.
Yeah.
To double check. Okay. Well, it feels fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So since the last 2 days, here's what happened. The boost came from the intervention. Therefore, it sped up the healing. Okay. And to the point where you should be able to finish it yourself. Okay. And you did. Okay. So I proved my point because we stopped. We didn't do anything after that. Yeah, so it's severe enough so that you can take care of it. It takes you longer, so we need to, to assist you a little bit to bring it down to a level where it's easy for you to handle it. That's how it works. Okay, I made it public because I want to tell you that it's not something you want to do at home yourself. Because it's go see a doctor, go see medical professionals. Do not mess with your health, okay? We're not medical experts. And even what I told Xian Tong to do for you, I doubt that if you guys do it yourselves, it's going to work at all, okay? So that's my warning for you. Take it very seriously, not something that we do casually at all, okay? All right, so Congratulations. That's wonderful.
Thank you, Master.
I hope the x-ray comes out okay. Doesn't come out okay, don't tell us.
Thank you, Master. I'm sure it will be okay. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else has any questions or comments? Yes, 3.
Thank you, Master. I had a quick situation I wanted to run by you, see what I should have done. My sister, who was very manic, came up to me and tried to show me one of her crystals that she had. And when I touched it, I felt like a great, trying not to be discerning, but evil from it. And she was like, "Oh, this one's so angry all the time. And it's so angry at me, and it hurts my hand when I touch it, and I touched it, and it felt like really, really bad." I didn't want to meddle, but also I didn't want to not tell her anything. 1, what should I have said? And 2, what should I do when I come across things that are like very negative?
Number 1, do nothing. Not in your business. No. We have to wait until they ask. They don't ask, we don't tell. It's none of our business. We need to respect people's privacy. If they don't want us to know, they want to handle it their way. There's nothing wrong with that. It's their lives. Okay? So, this is our primary, what's it called that? Captain Kirk, primary directive. We don't meddle into other civilizations. Okay? We don't meddle into other people's lives. Okay? We respect those boundaries. Okay? If you want to do your own things, you want to do your own style, your own way, your own religious beliefs, we totally respect that. You want to be Catholic, we respect that. We won't try to convert you, won't try to do anything at all. Absolutely not. It's your lives. What do we care? Why do we have to meddle? Are you crazy? What's in it for us? You're the sister, and so what? Okay, and so I'm glad you asked, because the rule of thumb is that we practice all these things in order to take care of ourselves. And that's the proof right there. When you get to the point where primarily we do this to have a healthy body and healthy life. Okay, and that's helpful enough to our husbands, our children, and so forth. Okay, but we don't meddle into their lives. Whatever, if their husband is still Jewish or still Catholic and Protestants and Mormons, so be it. None of our business. Okay? And question number 2 is negative things. Negative things is just negative things. You just do your things. If you don't like it, walk away from it. You do our positive things. Okay? Just like the beings who come to our temple, they first begin, they brought a lot of negative things, and eventually, if they stick around long enough, they will shed those negative things because they cannot coexist with us. And that's why some of the people that were rejected, we spit out, is because they're evil, they're negative, and we put up with them for years, and they would not. They can keep on disguising their evil intentions and their schemes and so forth. Eventually, they left on their own. Okay? There's no coexistence. We are positive. We are do-gooders, and we don't tolerate such behaviors. I won't teach such people so that they become stronger and do more harm to others. Okay? There is some people that I train, I knew that this particular nun was very evil. I know she's evil, and she keeps on stealing from me every week and so forth, from money to Dharma to whatever. And I was patiently putting up with that for 3 years. And every week I said, should I can her? Should I throw her out? And because of my mother, I said, okay, you kiss up to my mother, so I let you, so just to please my mother. I put up your evil, and you put up your stealing from me, just to please my mother. But eventually, she's thrown out, and she lost everything. She lost a lot more than when she just came. She improved, and then she lost it all eventually. So they punish themselves. We don't need to do anything. Okay? All right. Any other questions? People talk. We quietly, take care of our teeth, take care of our, COVID, take care of our wives, If our wives is in trouble, we plant blessings and go listen to sutra and say, okay, I am creating these blessings here. I'm going to give them to you because you won't get them otherwise, and hope it helps. We do positive things like that. Instead of sitting home and moping and, feeling bad about yourself, you do something constructive and build blessings and give them away to them, to assist them. That's being positive. That's being constructive. And finally, before we get to the lecture here, and I also publicly made the case that I cannot ignore Korea over there. Okay, it's getting worse, and they're very strict over there. So maybe 3, 4, 5 days ago, I don't remember anymore. It keeps on trending up, 4,000 infections a day to 5,000, to 6,000, to 7,000. The record is 7,000, 10,000 infections a day. So I said, well, we better do something. I can't ignore it, okay, since we got a lot of support and a lot of sincere people who came to our temple. So I ordered my disciples to help, to test them out, okay. So this time, because this time my disciples' Kung Fu has improved. So I want to test them out. So last year when we intervened, like a year ago when we intervened was before the vaccines were available. Otherwise, the economy of California would have crumbled. Okay, so we intervened, and so we tried. I let my disciples do the work, and they help a little bit. And now this time I was curious. Now they improved. So what is the effect? Okay, so I saw the decline from 7,000 to 6,000, now to 5,000 after 3 or 4 days. Okay, so I'm very pleased with that. This is why we do this. We quietly help. We don't just stand there up there. Hey, we are saving the world and so forth. Okay, but we do this. This is a chance for us to experiment and test our skills. Okay, it's not talk. We need to verify that we can really do it. You can really save your tooth, not just let anyone pull it out. Okay. All right. So I hope the trend keeps up. Otherwise, I would fire my disciples. So we're down to 5,000 a day, new infections a day now. I hope it keeps up. And so that's part of my fun personally. I have these issues. People come to me, and I say, oh, that's interesting. I'd like to try that and see if we can help. Okay, so now we experimented with how to help in that situation with the COVID thing. The last time we brute force. This time we added more twists to see what else we can manipulate to defend our territory. I'm very territorial. You come to my territory and you mess with me, I lose my temper. Otherwise, I'm a very peace-loving person. Merry Christmas. Okay, it's just, yes, Catholic. Speaking of the One. Irman.
I just want to report that I've been doing fasting, but this time I've been struggling a lot more than before.
You what?
Struggling more than before the fasting.
You what more than before?
Struggling.
Struggling more than before?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
No.
Not.
But I really want to go for my 10 days or 9 days of fasting.
You can't. It doesn't work like that. You just don't. These are practices that we've been training. We've been preparing ourselves. You just don't cold turkey and say, hey, I'm going to do it. For you to get to 9 days, you have to build up. You have to build up to 3, build to 5, build up to 6, to 7, 8, 9. That's the rate that you have to go. You go 9 days cold turkey, it's not going to be possible. Because in particular in your case, you guys think these things are casual? I mean, each of you is different. Each case is different. In your case, I'll tell you right now, you go 9 days, you're going to die. You're going to quit before that. You won't make it. I tell you right now. The last time you did how many days? 3, right? Again, 3. Listen carefully. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's how many times you have to do. This time, do 5. Push for 5, and that's it. Yeah, after 5, you go longer, fine. I don't care. But 5 is the goal. Okay? And if after 5, you say, oh, no, this is too much. Say, stop. You reach your goal. Okay? And next time, do 6. And we see what happens. This is supervised. It's not like a casual thing where you decide to do whatever you want. It's a very, very delicate. Okay. All right, we're back to slide 189. Is this a new one or the old one? New one, probably. Bodhisattva Mahasattva, universal wisdom light, illuminating a thus come one's realm.
普智光照如来境菩萨摩诃萨。
Okay, as a reminder, as a reference. Oh, it's so quiet in Korea, except for Xian, Un, who's cultivating, and the rest of them are taking a break. Look at that. We have 2 way places and 1 cultivator. This is how hard we work. And then we have Xian Kong, to the left of the screen right there, who is still, wondering about Santa Claus. Christmas is over, honey. Okay, no more Santa Claus. What did you get for Christmas? Anyway, we are in the section where they're describing the people who were in attendance. They're all bodhisattvas, bar none. The arhats have no right to be there, could not be there. So these great mahasattvas, bodhisattva mahasattvas, were extremely high level, and they came with their entourage. So the entourage is basically bodhisattvas too. Okay, I would be. If you look at the bodhisattvas here, this particular one is universal wisdom light, illuminating this one's realm. Okay, he specializes in cultivating wisdom. That's his Dharma door. And what for? He achieved high level wisdom, extremely high level. And his use is wisdom, to wisdom light, to illuminate the thus come one's realm. Okay, then what does it mean? It means that when his wisdom here is help us, invisibly help us. When this light here, that illuminates all over the Dharma realm. Okay, and we can't even see it. Okay, unless you have spiritual eyes. Okay, and so it illuminates this on the entire Dharma realm. This wherever this light reaches and whoever it reaches. Okay, it helps us have a better understanding or appreciation of the state of the Duskam ones, of the Buddhas. So invisibly, that's why what this invisible assistance, we're able to have the connection with the Buddhas, which we otherwise would not have. Does it make sense? This is what Bodhisattvas do. They help invisibly, imperceptibly, and no one knows. They don't brag about it, you know? All right? Next one, 191. Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, universal jewel cowl and flower banner.
普宝济华床菩萨摩诃萨。
Okay, 192 commentary. This, I don't know which one is 7th or 8th Mahasattva. Again, well, this is the first, they're listing now the first line, the first dignitaries, if you will, of these Bodhisattva Mahasattvas, meaning they are either Buddhas or near Buddha state. No two ways about it. Otherwise, they would not be listed first. And I would not be surprised that they are all Buddhas, pretending to be Mahasattvas. Yes, 8.
San Jose Daniel asks, Master, at what point does an arhat become a bodhisattva? At what point are they distinguished?
An arhat is what I hope that the left home people will reach. Our left home people will reach a 4-stage arhat. Okay, because that is the design of this program, training program, is to help them reach 4-stage arhat. Okay, and so that's in order to repay the Buddha's kindness. He designed this thing here, and we are benefiting from it, and therefore the best way to show our gratitude is to succeed. Okay, they don't ask for anything except for our success. And so that's what I wish. And once you become a 4th-stage arhat, which is a very important milestone in your cultivation process, okay, then before that, people would brag and talk about how great they are, how special they are, how smart they are, how important they are. And then when you get to 4th-stage arhat, then they become a lot more humble. Then they're more what I call teachable, more pliable. Before that, it's too much work. Okay, it's just a lot of work. It's an uphill battle. But but after that, they are much more pliable, and therefore they can be trained. They are then put on a different training program in order, which is my personal goal, is for them to become enlightened. Big enlightenment, not small enlightenment. Okay, and it's intriguing to me because then there are many ways to train them, so that either gradual training or sudden training. So each person is a fascinating case for us to learn. Okay, and that's for our monks and nuns. Okay, that's clear in my mind. If they become monks and nuns, that's a trajectory. That's a pathways. As far as lay people go, you have other commitments, so we respect that. So lay people, then we I hope that you reach 1st-stage arhat, where you have some transcendental wisdom. In Buddhism, you really don't have wisdom until you reach 1st-stage arhat. Okay, so that's why I look at my dentist there and say, 30 years, and that's slow. Okay, and then you're gonna die soon. And how much longer must we wait? Okay, that's too slow. Okay, so but so I would, if you were lay people, I would hurry and shoot for first stage arhat, because once you get there, you know what I mean. Why it's important. Okay, until then, it's no point explaining to you. Okay, and then after that, some lay people who reach fourth stage arhats, and some lay people who then decide to lead the home life, who become enlightened. Okay, that is in a timely fashion, hopefully. If not, then the best possible thing that we should all plan for, I hope you take it seriously, is go to Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land, where you find the best teacher there is. Okay? And he will take care of you. All right? So that's the path. So the teaching, the training is the same basically, but the demands is much more, and the demands and the rigors are much more for left-form people and lay people. Okay, so that's the difference. Yes, 8.
Master, what's the universal jeweled cow?
Okay, so these bodhisattvas, when they practice and they become enlightened, after you become enlightened, they have this jewel cowl on top of their head. So you look at the statue of the Buddhas behind me, okay? You see that there's a hair there, and then on top of the hair, and right at the very top, there is like a bump, okay? Am I right? He says there's a bump there, and that is a cow. Okay, and only Buddhas and Bodhisattvas have it. Arhats cannot, for example. Okay, and so that's the jewel cow right there. It's one of the 32 hallmarks of a great being, like the Buddhas. The Buddhas has 32 great hallmarks that only peculiar to the Buddhas, and one of them is a jewel cow. Okay, so this Mahasattva here who has a jewel cow is either a Buddha or a Mahasattva near Buddhahood. Okay, so this cow here is where you have a lot of treasures in there. Okay, a lot of incredible treasures and riches and weapons and so forth. And that's why they store their weaponries. They don't put it on behind the back like a samurai or something. You know. They put it in the head here. You know, it's and so that's why so much of them that they could become a bump. Too many. Yes. Yes, 8.
Master, is there a difference between cowl and crown?
Cowl and what?
Crown. The crown.
The crown? Is there a crown on the head? Oh, the crown. Oh, I don't know about crowns. I just know about cowl. And the crown was like for kings and queens. I'm more on the president's side, so I don't know much about crowns. Yeah. No, the crown is different. The crown is like outside. The cowl is smaller inside. Yes, Daniel. 1.
So in that case, what is a flower banner?
Okay, so you have a jewel cowl here, okay, and the universal jewel crown is that the cowl there emits light. Because if you have spiritual eyes, you see these people who have this cowl, actually, they are very bright. That's where the light comes from. I mean, a lot of light comes from there, and that's why they're frightening to the ghosts and the demons. Okay? And what's this flower banner? The banner there we talked about earlier. Banner is a sign of accomplishment. It's staking a territory. So like typically you have an army, okay, or you have a feudal lord, or you have a temple. You have a banner there, so that you say, "This is our territory. This is me, my territory." You come in here, better be careful, because you come in here, there's certain rules, certain regulations. This is our territory. Okay, and we defend our territory very vigorously, very vigilantly. You come in here, you mess with it, you better watch out. You're going to pay the price. Okay? And universal meaning here that, you come here, you mess with it, and you run away to your territory, we reach over there to your territory and punish you regardless. Okay? Because you dare, offend us. So this universal here is, yes, we want to carve our territory so that we can respect other territories, okay? But if you mess with it, you violate that, the university we can reach all the way back to wherever you run back to and hide. There's no place to hide. Like the light, the wisdom light here, it will shine everywhere. That's the reach. Not just the heavens, it's everywhere. The hells, Afghanistan, Russia, Iran, North Korea, and so forth. There's nowhere to hide. It's not possible for you to hide. Okay. And so the banner is a sign of accomplishment and a sort of like this is us. This is our territory. Be careful, watch out, obey the rules, okay? And flowers, very adorned. Okay. All right, any other questions? 193, Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, delightful sounds that bring universal enlightenment.
普觉乐意声，菩萨摩诃萨。
Okay. So this particular Mahasattva here, the way he cultivates, the way that he decided to help living beings become enlightened, Bodhisattva has only one goal, is to assist the Buddhas in helping living beings become enlightened. Period. There's nothing else they want to do. They don't want red cars, they don't want, yachts. Speedboats. Is it okay? Now we're moving near the ocean. Seaboats. Can we do some more research on this? Sailboat. Yeah, that too. Why not yacht? Anyway, so this Mahasattva here produces a sound, okay? Produces a sound. So when either through whatever, when you're a Mahasattva, it's a sound, meaning that whatever he has, he do music, he can sing karaoke, he can compose music, he compose choirs and do choirs and so forth. Whatever pertains to sound, to make bring joy and happiness to people's hearts. Let me tell you, Bodhisattvas are not beyond making you happy. It's not like Bodhisattva, I'm here, I cultivate, I want to become enlightened. I don't want to talk to you. Okay? and pure. Bodhisattvas, they do everything. Whatever it takes to make you happy, to connect with you. Okay? And this particular Mahasattva is an expert with sound. This is something that, for example, our Andres, okay, would want to bow to him and say, help me, become, This is why you want to learn about these guys, okay, these great beings. If you were like into music, musicians, composers, and so forth, and you want to say, I want to make a contribution to the world of music, I would bow to this Mahasattva and say, please, aid me in opening my wisdom and bring more delightful sounds to the world. Instead of the other Catholic composers, they only pray to the heavens. We pray to much, much higher. And they say, please help us out and help inspire music sounds any kind of sounds that help us inspire living beings here, the heavens and higher levels of heaven, higher level of heavens and so forth. The sounds are universally appealing. Okay? And because of that, this sound here will enlighten and cheer people up and elevate the souls everywhere in the universe and will help them attain enlightenment. Okay, so the sound here, you listen to these sounds, actually they're helpful in creating enlightenment in your heart, not stickiness in the sound like you hear these, some kind of music, recent music, where the music is so angry, it's so coarse, so a lot of curse words. I don't personally see how you're going to become enlightened listening to all that. Okay, but I hope someday when I get older and I become more mature, I will understand how. Okay, but to my simplistic mind, simple mind, the sound has to elevate your heart, not make it coarse, not make it more angry. Okay, it should be uplifting, should be inspirational, where you see, because that comes from the beautiful nature of your heart. Okay, and so that's why it's so delightful when you hear the sound that this Bodhisattva Mahasattva, whether he could design, let's say, a musical instrument, let's say a guitar, a lute, that the Stradivarius, in violins, Stradivarius is like the violin you want to have, and that's a creation. It's not, they can't duplicate it anymore, if you will, right? I mean, it's so superior in everything that we have been able to come up with to try to imitate it. The Stradivarius violin is just out of this world, you see. And to me, I'm no bodhisattva, so I can't guarantee it for sure. But this is the work of these great beings. They say, I come here, I create these things here to contribute to the musical world and help uplift your heart and minds. Okay? So this is what this Bodhisattva, he oversees this as well. You like? You have to stop thinking so small, like San Diego. No, we want, the whole universe. Okay? Or the Catholics say, I just want to do the heavenly thing. No, we want, the whole galaxy, not just the heavens. Okay? 195. Bodhisattva Mahasattva, universal purity and light are infinite blessings.
普清净无尽福光菩萨摩诃萨。
All right. So this particular Mahasattva here, And he practices purity. He as pure, almost as pure, because he's Mahasattva, he's almost as pure as the Buddha. Okay, and he practices purity all over Dharma realm. When you see universal, it means that he goes not to the entire world to practice purity. He also goes to Western Bliss Pure Land to practice purity. He goes to another world, all the other worlds throughout the universe, in order to practice purity, whatever it takes to practice purity. Okay? You understand? Universal here means that he's been everywhere in the Dharma realm, not just our world. You see how much work it is to become a Buddha. You have to go everywhere to practice. You can't just say, I practice here in the Sara world, and I stay in the heaven, I stay here in my temple and meditate. That's not the Bodhisattva path. Bodhisattva path, we go and practice everywhere, in the forest, in the mountain, in the rivers, in the dumpsters, in the worst places of every single world. That's why you have to remove the restriction, the boundary in your mind. You say, I'm Korean, I'm Vietnamese. They're not Korean, they're not Vietnamese. They don't look at themselves as, I'm a Korean Bodhisattva, I'm a Sri Lankan purity kind of Mahasattva. It's everywhere, okay? And because it's purity, he's bright. His light is so bright, okay? And that shines everywhere. What for? The other one is the light shines through what? To help you become enlightened. Okay? Enlightenment here is, at our level, enlightenment could be that we broaden our mind so that now we see things differently, so that we compose this new piece of music, okay, differently than we normally do, better than we normally do, okay? So that's what the sound thing, the other sound Mahasattva that specializes in sound does. This particular Mahasattva here, he because he practices purity himself, and the purity is extremely bright lights. If you're pure, okay, with purity is you emit light, very bright radiance, okay. And this light here, it shines everywhere. And when it shines upon you, what does it do? It helps you create more blessings. So that's how he gives blessings. He doesn't come and manifest as a bodhisattva or as a bat or an elephant or a god, okay? But he just sits there and meditates, and then he practices purity, and so he emits his light here. So instead of going personally, this light would shine wherever he goes, and then he bestows blessings upon those living beings that are being shown on by his light. That's how he gives. He practices giving by shining his light, and the light gives you blessings. It's like that light there, shining on me. If it were from him, I'd be so rich in blessings. Okay? Does it help? All right. 197. Bodhisattva Mahasattva, universal radiance of characteristics.
普光明相菩萨摩诃萨
Marks, not characteristics. Can we change it to marks? Master Xianqie, it's time to wake up and do some work. That's why we give you a nice laptop. See how cheap I am? When I give you something, I give it to you. Far from a Bodhisattva, you can tell right away. Change radiance of marks, not characteristics. Okay? Let's have this agree on a certain terminology, jargon, so that our texts all convey the same meaning. Because these have different people, different translators. Here, we're a lot smaller, so we should be more consistent. Yes? Yeah, give him a chance. After, it takes a little bit of time to warm up, like in the car. Yeah. You laughing, but one day when he becomes enlightened, he remember who laughed tonight. No help for you. See, she's laughing. See that one over there. And Jung In behind you. Jung laughs at anything. Got that? Okay. What's taking so long? Can't find a file. Okay, let me fix it for you. Okay, and the previous one. See, that's the life here in Way Mountain Temple. You want something done, right? You do it yourself. Okay. So what is this Mahasattva here? Okay. This Bodhisattva here, he's extremely wise, and this light of wisdom, is pervasive. It can be seen everywhere in a Dharma realm. Think about it. Okay? For example, we make a phone call. Okay? Then we restrict it to how far the signal can travel. Right? You need towers, you need cell phone towers, and so forth. But with this radiance here, it's just a radiant light here, and the light goes from him and goes infinitely throughout the universe. Isn't that cool? I mean, you have no restriction whatsoever. The mind, it comes from a mind that is unimpeded. Because, listen, many of you are very proud to be white. I mean, American. Strike that. yeah, right there, from the South. Okay? And, right, you're proud to be a Southerner, right? Traitor. It's nothing worse than an ungrateful Southerner. You forgot your roots already. So that's how you say, I'm a Southerner. I'm from Texas. Okay? Or is a Southerner? South Carolina. South Carolina. Okay? And I'm a proud South Carolinian. And you practice Buddhism that way. You practice the 6 paramitas that way. Okay? Then, when you become Bodhisattva, you only a Bodhisattva in South Carolina. You go outside South Carolina, you're not longer a Bodhisattva. And that's the point I'm trying to illustrate to you is that because in your mind, if you're practicing these things, you see, I'm Chinese, and I can live with this sort of teachings, but the other teachings I don't subscribe to. Okay? You're limiting the teaching. You're limiting your own accomplishments. Okay? And so for example, in our temple, we are a big mixed bag. We don't not, I'm not sure. People, the Vietnamese accuse me of not being Vietnamese. I don't know why. I look so Vietnamese to me. I mean, I do Vietnamese hairstyle, no hair. Huh? It's unfair. But anyway, the Vietnamese says, this guy is not Vietnamese enough. Okay? And the white people look at me, he's not even white. So I'm confused. I don't know who I am. Okay? And that's why it's called universal. And it reflects in our food. We love kimchi, we love beef stroganoff, we love instant noodles, and so forth. Because that is part of the reach. If you say, I'm only Korean, I'm only Vietnamese, and the other practices I find it very hard to swallow, I don't accept it, then you are setting boundaries in your mind. That's all. You're only harming yourself. You will forever remain, proud South Carolina Bodhisattva. All right? Yeah. So that's why I'm proud to tell you that we eat all kinds of food, all kinds of things, and we embrace all kinds of cultures and so forth. But that's part of freeing your mind from boundaries, embracing things are different from us. People are not as good as we are. We still embrace them. Because otherwise, if you think that people are lower level than you, then when you become a bodhisattva, you can only save rich people. You cannot save poor people. Okay? Yes, 6. There's nothing worse than a bodhisattva who only saves rich people. Ooh.
Master, did Great Master YongHua ever have the kind of radiance outflow that you could notice? Did you ever notice it in his presence?
No. He will not let you see the lights. That's what he does. He doesn't want you to see his lights. So it's very rare. Unless he does it on purpose, you cannot see it. I remember once a guy who goes around taking photographs, okay, of people. He took photographs, and then he came over to Master YongHua and said, he wanted to take a photograph. Master YongHua said, okay, take it. But when he tried to develop a film, this is a long time ago, it's all blank. It's all white. So you know what happened? He basically emitted light so that it's so bright, it cannot register the film. I could have turned it into a black thing as well, but no, he just chose to do the white light. Okay, so that's why you can't. Master YongHua, unless he wants you to see it, allows you to see it, you cannot see his light. Yes, 8.
Master, does the light of the Buddhas, does it reach like JMT and all the temples and Jewel Conch and Gold Forest?
I'm very proud to tell you, yes. I believe. What do I know? It's the Buddha's light, it's not my light. Why do you ask me? Is this a trick question? Do you think I every night I go home and say, before I go to bed, I sit down and pray next to my bed, oh Buddha, please shine your light on my temples. Don't make me lose faith to my disciples. And I can tell my disciples, your light shines out on us. Even my own master's light doesn't shine on my temples. What do you expect? Okay, so this Mahasattva here, he practices everywhere. Again, universal. This is very, very important. Why do you keep on hearing this universal word here? It means he's been practicing all over the Dharma realm. It's not talk. If you want to have to reach that, you have to move to South Carolina or practice, and move to Texas, move to Florida, which I refuse to go. My life will never reach Florida if I ever become a Bodhisattva. Unless the big donor who gives me a yacht. I can be bought. Okay? But, so he went everywhere to practice. Not just the Sahara world, okay? Every single world, he'd been there. Think about it. So he'd been practicing in infinite worlds to be able to have this universal effect. Agreed? Okay? The radiance of marks. Here, not only does he practice everywhere, what kind of practice does he do? He practices a lot of blessings, and that's why he has these characteristics, these marks of great men. You know, they have, you know, like in the arm here, if you were a Mahasattva, you see like a wheel, like a Dharma wheel here, on your feet as well. You know, on the plant, you know, at the plant your foot, you see a like the Buddhas. You see at the end of, at the bottom of his foot, you can see a Dharma wheel. And here as well, I see a flesh cow. Here you see long ears. Okay, long ears like the Buddhas behind me. Okay, and you see long arms reaching down to your knees. Okay. And so you have, what are these 32 hallmarks, okay? Marks or signs or characteristics of great men, okay? Great men have these 32 hallmarks, and they are Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas, okay? And these marks there were the result of the paramita practices throughout the universe, okay? That's what the universal. And because they've been practicing in these marks here, and for a long, long time everywhere, these marks actually emit light. So like the cow emit lights, the thing emit lights, the feet emit lights. So when the Buddha needs to emit light, he can emit light everywhere, from everywhere. Does it make sense? So when I prepare this, you know, it's different, you know. As I see this, depending on how much what I have for lunch. So 199, Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, ocean moonlights, great radiance.
海月光大明菩萨摩诃萨.
All right. Commentary. And this great Mahasattva here, his wisdom light as bright as the moonlight, okay, and it shines everywhere. His light is as vast as the ocean, okay, and as bright, extremely bright. Okay, ocean. 201, Bodhisattva Mahasattva, immaculate treasury of rumbling clouds and shining ocean.
云音海光无垢藏菩萨摩诃萨.
Okay, 202. And this is from Master YongHua. He understands this very well. For this particular Mahasattva, he sends forth very powerful thunderclaps in space. and rousing the deaf and startling the blind. Deaf people, upon hearing the sound, are no longer deaf. Those who are not willing to listen will listen. Those not willing to look will have to look. So the shining ocean here refers to emitting light or ocean imprint samadhi. Okay, so this particular samadhi here, called ocean imprint samadhi, to reveal all the myriad phenomena of the universe as when the images are imprinted on the ocean. And Immaculate Treasury refers to his purity. Okay, so he has his particular practice here where he used sounds to wake living beings up, so that living beings, they are so full of themselves, and you talk to them, they don't listen to you. So unless you raise your voice, and sometimes raising your voice is not enough. So he has to use this rumbling clouds of sounds in order to bring you to attention and get your attention. All right? And the shining ocean is also will catch your attention. Okay. Yes, is there a question from 8?
Master Navad asks, "Hello, Master. Can the light and or wisdom fade? Also, if the light is pervasive, why not shine the light everywhere to help everyone? Sorry, this is from before. Thank you."
I'm sorry, I didn't get a few words, and therefore...
Can the light and or wisdom fade?
Where, who is this from?
From Navad. Navad.
Nirvana?
His name is Navad.
What?
N-I-V-A-D.
N-I-V-A-D.
V.
Nivad. Okay, fine. Repeat the question.
Hello, Master. Can the light and or wisdom fade? Also, if the light is pervasive, why not shine the light everywhere to help everyone?
Okay, can the light add or pervasive?
Can the light and or wisdom fade?
Oh, wisdom fade.
Fade like
Can a light add? What does a light add mean?
and or.
The light and
Slash or wisdom.
fade. Oh, the light, can it fade? Or wisdom fade?
Fade away.
Oh, thank you. Oh. Any hearing aids? Oh. A light here? Okay. Well, it's a general question, regardless. Can the light fade or the wisdom fade? Can the light fade? No. Once you reach these levels, you will never fade. Wisdom will never decrease. Okay? So it's irreversible. That's why it's so difficult for you to get there. Yes, 8.
Also, if the light is pervasive, why not shine the light everywhere to help everyone?
Okay, thank you for being persistent. My memory is very, very bad. Why, if it's pervasive, why does it help everyone? Why is it a light, this Bodhisattva who emits light from his characteristics, his marks? How come it doesn't do anything for me? Okay, basically. Or for me, I mean, I ask myself the same question. I hear about this sound composing thing here, and I would like to learn the guitar, but I'm getting nowhere. And the people who play the guitars, I don't see them as doing anything for me either. So clearly, these people who play musical instruments are no good. Wasting their time. So Why won't the light help, or why won't the sound help some people? Like if Andres keep on praying these. Oh, by the way, I keep also forgot to tell you that if I told Andres to pray to that Mahasabha, previous Mahasabha, for this rumbling clouds here, if I were you, if you are a teacher or something, I would use him as a patron saint. I mean a patron bodhisattva. Okay, pray to him constantly. Okay, so that when you teach your students, they will pay attention, and take your teaching seriously. So this is what they do. They aid us in their specialties. Okay, so these are the patron saint, if you will, of the teachers. Okay, the other patron saint of composers, or musical instruments, taiko drums and so forth. Okay. Did we answer all the questions? Okay, next, 2 or 3. Bodhisattva Mahasabha, jewel cow of meritorious virtues, born of wisdom.
功德宝济至身菩萨摩诃萨。
All right, commentary. So this Mahasabha here, he has tremendous wisdom. Okay, so because of his wisdom, what do people who have great wisdom do? When they have great wisdom, they create a lot of merit and virtues. They do good things. That's why we, as from outside, when they have from outside, we don't have great wisdom yet. In order to get there, we need to stick to doing the good things in order to eventually develop great wisdom. If you do the bad things, you will not develop great wisdom. Is that clear? Okay, so he has his great wisdom here. So because his great wisdom, like Master YongHua has great wisdom, I assure you. So what does he do? His entire life, he spent time creating merit and virtue. He doesn't criticize people. He doesn't say, I don't like you, or you are not good enough, and so forth. He helps everyone, and he makes sacrifice. Merit is that you do good things for others. What about virtues? Virtues is what? You cannot simply do good things for others. It's still lacking. Okay? What's lacking? You may do good things. You build a bridge. You do charity. That's called merits. Yes? Do meritorious deeds. You build churches. That's meritorious deeds. You help orphanages. Yeah, that's meritorious deeds. What about virtues? You look at me like this after all these years you've been with me. I ask you what virtues are. South Carolina.
Practice honesty.
What?
You practice patience and honesty and virtue, stuff like that,
I can't understand him. Okay? Did you hear that? Did you need translation? Someone translate for him. Yes, 5. What's virtues? In Korea. Korean virtues. Let's hear about Korean virtues. Go ahead.
Master, I want to ask something about fasting and affliction.
Affliction and fasting. Oh, you shouldn't have affliction when you fast. We're all very happy when we fast. Are you sure you do it right? This morning, at lunch, I will tell you, Xian Tong is finishing up tomorrow. Look at her and say, you look pretty good. He said, I'm hurting. I said, oh yeah? I said, but you still look pretty good. You look like you can do 3 more days. You know what? Yeah. She shut me down. She said, she didn't dare say anything, but say, I'm not talking to you. Sounds familiar to me? I'm not talking to you. Okay? So that's affliction. So she's rare. She's the one that fasts and then is afflicted. Most of us who fast, we are so happy. How can you be afflicted? Explain to us. Go ahead.
After last long fasting, I could sit still and I have some peace in my mind. So I finally could meditate. So I want to say thank you for the help, Master. And now I start again another fasting, and I don't really afflicted by hunger and thirst.
Do you know afflicted?
No.
Okay, what afflicts you now? Jumi?
So that's the difference compared to last fasting. So I can see some change, and
Oh, that's nice.
and
What are you afflicted about?
recently I could not concentrate on meditation, or I feel I cannot sit for 1 hour comfortably. The leg pain comes very earlier, like after 20 minutes when I start to sit.
Oh no,
But-
she's regressing. This is terrible. Stop. Don't cultivate anymore.
But I don't really bothered by.
No, stop. It's too much.
But
She is another one. They don't listen to me at all. I just made my point. They don't listen. I'm very afflicted about it. They don't get afflicted. I get afflicted. Yeah, continue.
today I get some news from some worldly things. So I got the worldly affliction, something related to my family and my work. So as I get the news, I immediately get very angry. So I could see.
That's an angry face? Hey, everyone, look at how the Koreans get angry, how they look when they're angry. Blow her face on the screen.
I start to worry what would happen when I go back to normal life, and I'm also worried about this worldly affliction would interrupt my cultivation. So how can I deal with it?
Become more virtuous. We're talking about virtues. I'm glad you asked. And I don't know how to address your question, but let me talk about virtues. Yes, 8.
Master San Jose Daniels said, act that test your ego.
Acts that test your ego. Okay. Virtues is to make sacrifices. Master Hsuan explains virtue as something invisible, a good thing, the good part of you that is invisible. I explained to you in a proactive way, virtues is to make sacrifices. Okay? Unless you make sacrifices, you're not a virtuous person. So if you want to become enlightened, you want to become a fourth-stage Rahat, you must need both merit and virtues. Is that clear? So that's why in Buddhism we need to have both. You cannot practice merits alone, you cannot work alone. you have to also practice virtues. Okay? Because virtues will help you develop wisdom. The right kind of wisdom. Okay? The merit here will help you with worldly things. Okay? But the virtue is where wisdom comes from. Right? So, for example, in order for you to practice, okay, then you need a lot of meritorious deeds or blessings, which will create a lot of blessings, so that when you practice, you have food to eat, you have clothes to wear, you can have protection, you're going to have, and so forth. That comes from your merits, your past merits. But in order for you only concentrate on, and this is where the Chinese go wrong, especially the young Chinese nowadays, or the Vietnamese or the Koreans. You focus on the merits. You only you plant merits, but you're not planting virtues. Okay? And that's why your practice is imbalanced. For example, I see a lot of Sunims in Korea. I met, they've been monks and nuns for 20, 30, 50 years. And they practice a lot of merits. They build temples, they open schools, they got on TV shows like CNN and so forth. That's merits. Okay? But you also need virtues. Is it clear? Okay. So, virtues basically is to make sacrifices. But there are certain ways of making sacrifices. You don't just make sacrifices. Like a mother making sacrifices for her children. Doesn't mean she's going to have virtues. Is it clear? Sacrifices, like in the Buddhist practices, we ask you to make sacrifices. Okay? Because when you do these Buddhist practices, you make these sacrifices, that's when you're creating virtues, Buddhist virtues, not just any kind of virtues, like yoga virtues, stay in your head, 1 foot. That's making sacrifices. You only stand 1 foot, right? Instead of 2. That's making sacrifices. You see? So there's a set of practices in Buddhism that will help you develop virtues by making sacrifices. So, for example, fasting. Is that a virtuous thing or not? No? Tungyin, stop laughing. What is it virtuous or not? Marriages, you better be virtuous. I've been fasting on my 4th day, going my 5th. If it's not virtuous, I'm going to stop right now. It depends. It depends. Is it clear? Because you have this fasting thing here. Okay? And during this fasting thing here, and you make sacrifices. Okay? So you make sacrifices. You say, okay, I won't eat. Okay, big deal. I won't talk to my husband because he afflicts me. Does it help you? That's my sacrifice, right? Because I will not talk to him because we fight, we argue, and he wants me to go home. Okay? Is that virtuous? No. Is that clear? So, what about, I can't sit anymore. The second time, my legs hurt so fast now, and I get so tired, I get so afflicted. Before I used to sit for an hour, now I sit for 20 minutes. I'm regressing. What do? You stop. Yes, 6.
Thank you, Master. You don't give up.
You don't give up. Is that virtuous? If you give up, it's not virtuous. Agree. Okay? But if you don't give up, is it virtuous or not? Why is it virtuous, sir? 6.
A virtuous person is one who can be counted on to do the right thing. That may include sacrifices, but it also may not include sacrifices.
Right. Okay. Make the right sacrifices. Yes? Okay? Okay. Excellent. Okay. You see, the point we're making here is that you don't decide what's virtuous. You don't say, what's virtuous about me not talking to my husband? What's virtuous about me to stay here and do the cold and the hunger and the abuse of the lowly people? Huh? What's the point? Okay, yes, 8.
Master Cordelia Lay asks, if we practice number 18 of hands and eyes, does that help increase our merit and virtue?
Jamun. Is that the one?
I think so.
Yeah, all kinds of virtues. And all kind of merits, but no virtues. Okay? Yes, that will create a lot of blessings, a lot of merits. Okay? All kinds of merits. Okay? So my point here is that you don't decide what's virtuous. Now who decides? Who decides? I'm trying to decipher the hand signal. Does it mean Kim Jong-un? Uncle Un? Yes, Catholic. God, he's going to say, God decides.
Actually, I wasn't saying Bodhisattvas, but yeah. That's
Why not God? You are a traitor now. Yes, 6. 8.
Master, well, if you fast in here and if you lose all your fat, but then you lose all your muscle, that's not good.
It's no good. There's no virtues in there in losing your fat and your muscles. Okay? So you decide not to fast then. So he says, the answer is, I decide. Because I don't want to lose fat. I don't want to lose muscles, muscle tissues. Especially I've been working hard. Yes, 6.
Thank you, Master. I think it's simplest just to let the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas figure that out. And all I focus on is just working as hard as I can. And then when I can't, I start over and try again.
Very good. Let me give you the answer. What is merit and virtues? Meritorious virtues. Okay? That is to do, to help others. Merit is to help others, to work to help others. Okay? Okay. And meritorious virtues is to work to help others while making sacrifices. Because if you don't make sacrifices, only merits. But in order to have meritorious virtue, you have to do merits and at the same time make sacrifices. Does it make sense? Yeah. I don't see the number 1. Wang.
So, Master, who decides whether you are making sacrifice or not?
I'm coming to that. I'm glad you asked the question. Yes, Abe.
Derek replied, if you help someone, then it would have been a virtue. If you help yourself, then it's a merit.
There's no merit in helping yourself. Helping yourself, like I go buy a red car. There's no merit in there. You give me a red car, there's merit. Is it clear? If I buy it myself, there's no merit at all. When are you going to get it? Must I buy everything? It's just a personal beef I have with my disciples. Okay, so you help others, okay, and like do the paramitas, practice paramitas, giving. What are the other paramitas? Patience. What else? Precepts. What else? Vigor, samadhi, wisdom. Go on. Okay. Memorize the other four. All right. So, expedience.
Power?
Expedience?
Expedience.
No, there's an order. You have to memorize them in the order.
Expedience. Knowledge.
Vows.
Oh, vows. Then knowledge.
Knowledge.
Then power.
There you go. Okay. Those are the 10 paramitas. The Chinese only teach you 6. We teach you 10. There's a difference between small bodhisattvas and mahasattvas. The mahasattvas practice 10. The small bodhisattvas practice 6. Shh! Don't tell them. Don't tell them. Okay, so you do meritorious things because you practice the 6 paramitas or 10 paramitas. Okay, and they're called meritorious virtues because when you practice them, you're making sacrifices. That's the standard. Okay? So where does it say in the standard says, I used to sit for an hour, now I sit for half an hour? Doesn't matter. You fight. The measurement is not to sit for an hour. The measurement is you finish the fast. It has nothing to do with long sits anymore. It has nothing to do with no afflictions anymore. So what happens if you practice now, I can't sit for an hour anymore? It's a good thing. It's the reason why you can't sit for an hour anymore. I'm not going to explain it to you. I don't necessarily know the reason itself. If I knew, I wouldn't explain it to you either. Because if I had to explain to you, then there's no virtues in you doing it. Okay? And so things are harder now than before. It's a good thing. If it's the same as before, then it's not a good thing anymore. Like Edie, disciple of mine today, I challenged her. I said, 3 more days? And he says, are you crazy? I suffered enough. There's no virtues in there. You see that? That woman practices merits, not virtues. She's going to start fasting 3 more days tomorrow, let me tell you. 8. That's what happens. You miss all these subtleties of the practices. There's no virtues in sitting behind the four walls when you practice meditation alone. Because there's no challenge. See, this is what the subtleties you don't understand. That's what that confines you to that limits your level of achievements. Yes, 8.
San Jose Daniel said, "Karmic conditions decide?" ?
Can what?
Karmic conditions decide?
Decide what?
I think
We talk about so many things. Decide what? Be specific. We're Buddhists. Decide what?
I'm waiting for his comment.
Decide which virtues. I know what he's talking about, right? But you guys need to learn to speak more precisely, because I'm all over. I get distracted so easily. I forget about what we're talking about. So what is her personal challenges? Now it's harder. It's supposed to be harder. Typically, after you fast that long, it takes you about a month or 2 or 3 to recover. And you do it immediately, that's very hard. Okay? I would never do that. 9.
I just wanted to confirm, I'm also fasting, and I also notice that I can't sit as long either.
You're more afflicted than normal either.
Well, it's just I've noticed it, so I just wanted to confirm that experience.
Are you afflicted because of it?
I've noticed it before, but I haven't heard anyone else say it before, so I feel a little better about it.
Your wife seems to feel that you're more afflicted than normal.
Hope not.
And so the virtues is to do it, even though it's difficult and you struggle so much, and you still do it because you're executing the Dharma. That's how you develop virtues. If you say, oh, no, I'm too afflicted, I have so many afflictions, I better stop. Then you stop. Then you miss out on creating more virtues. Okay? So there's virtues when you have more virtues when your practice is more difficult. When you create merits and you have so many more difficulties, then it's more virtuous. It's not supposed to be easy. And that's the danger of you practicing behind the four walls, because you are safe. Okay? Whereas you go and you have all the news from home, news from work, and you worry about this, worry about that, people snoring. That's much more difficult. And if you can persevere, that's when you have virtues and merit and virtues. Understand? The more difficult, the more virtues, the more merit and virtues. So we should be happy that it's happening instead of, it's just the same as before. If it's the same before, then the first 21 days we have no more merit and virtues. It's just the same as before. Understand? It's supposed to be more difficult. This is different worldly things. Worldly things that they know how to make money. They know how to get promoted, climb up the corporate ladder. So they go through the same thing, and therefore it's a déjà vu, okay, for them. It's a waste of time. Whereas when we do it in our practices, it's more difficult. Next time around, and more. Next time around, and more, and more, and more. That's how we improve. That's how we push ourselves. When it's difficult, we love it. When it's like, so that's why I said, how about 3 more days? Are you crazy? So it's a whim. The wimpy mind says, are you crazy? So it's no virtues. So the whole thing is no virtues. It's all merits. You understand? You create so many merits doing all these hard things to do and nothing, and then at the end you have a chance to create even more virtues. You say, are you crazy? I'm hurting so bad already. Have you no heart? I have no heart, absolutely. Because I want you to have more virtues. It's not about my heart, about your virtues. My only excuse. No one seems to buy it, especially the Catholics. The master, the Buddhist master has no compassion whatsoever. He likes to give people a hard time, yell at people, treat people badly, unfairly. That's how you have virtues. I have merits. I have merits. I create merits by being bad, but I have no virtues. You guys are so boring. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Can we stop here tonight? So boring. You don't understand anything. Okay. So the wisdom. See, this is why you want to follow a person like Master YongHua, where he says fast for 9 days. Meritorious because it's very difficult. Okay? And then the virtues is that you stick to that no matter how difficult it is. That's virtues. Understand? That's from wisdom. That's why you want to learn the practices from people with wisdom. You don't just follow anyone. You say, oh, we're going to fast today, so you can have some citrus juice with a little bit of sugar, and then you can have breakfast, and so forth. That's not from a program designed by a person with wisdom. That's why you have no merit and virtues. Whereas when Master YongHua taught us these practices, when we do them, in spite of difficulties, we create both merits and virtues. Is it clear? So if you're afflicted by news at home, okay, then quit. You don't quit, then you endure. You know, call me every day and give me all the bad news and talk me out of this. And they say, and then call me tomorrow. I'm not going to quit. Call me tomorrow again. Give me some more bad news. Okay? And then the next day, he said, call me again. I quit tomorrow. See if I quit tomorrow. So we fight. That's all. And you keep it up, and then eventually you develop wisdom. It has to be difficult. Don't be such a wimp like these people. They went, oh, why is it so difficult? It's supposed to be hard. Yes, 6.
Thank you, Master. I just wanted to bring up one other really important benefit to me of not cultivating behind 4 walls. And that is your fellow cultivators. I know in previous lectures someone was asking, what's up with the knuckle punching in the lecture? And if it wasn't for...
Are we referring to this?
It's an American thing.
Oh, knuckle punching.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah.
It's like that. You can blow it up, if you want to get fancy.
Mm-hmm. I see. Okay.
But it's the support and the perspective of your fellow cultivators that can help so much, especially when worldly things impact your cultivation.
Let me give you a reason why you want to cultivate with others. There are many reasons. I'm not going to tell you them all. I'm going to tell you one. Okay? You cultivate by yourself, you will not get certain teaching. That's why it's very, very slow. Bodhisattvas, they don't cultivate by themselves. You choose to cultivate by yourself, we will not get certain teaching. You go here and you endure all these things, endure. Oh, so many people, it's so difficult to endure. That's when you get certain teaching. You don't endure, you don't get certain teaching. Understand? Yes, 4.
Masters, does that mean Bodhisattva and Mahasattvas became that because of sudden teaching?
Some of them. Some of them get there because of gradual teaching, because the teachers don't understand certain teaching, so they can't dispense it. And like, for example, if you have no teacher, what choices do you have? You have to do gradual. You have to hide. And hopefully, you meditate by yourself. Hopefully, someday you open your wisdom. Whereas the certain teaching is instantaneous. Why do you have to hide? Why do you have to wait? You have to just follow the instructions. So there's a world, the world difference between gradual and sudden. Gradual is night. Sudden is day. You grow up in the dark. That's why you grind it out. You don't know what to do. So you grind it out every day. Stand in one foot. It hurts. Shall I quit? That's grinding it out. But they don't understand why we teach you to grind it out. There's a reason why we tell you to teach you to grind it out. But there are times when we say, no, don't grind it out. It's a time, go see a movie. Like James Bond. There's a lot of wise things there. Or Chinese movies. I used to love to watch Japanese movies. Not anymore. Because I find the Japanese movies, they would quote Chinese sayings. The Japanese movie, can I tell you about Japanese movies? We close, no more questions, okay? Japanese movies, they go through the entire movie, okay? And then at the end, the actor says, oh, this whole thing happened because of this. They would quote a wise saying. And I say, wow, that's why, that's why the Bodhisattvas came to our world and taught us, because they helped these types of people. Okay, so they would quote, guess what? A Chinese saying. That's why I realized the Japanese are stealing from the Chinese. Okay, so that's when I realized I stopped watching Japanese movies. I watch Chinese movies only. And guess what? I'm disappointed with Chinese movies. Because what they do? They don't quote Chinese saying anymore. They quote like the Westerners. They quote like, it's okay to be greedy, it's okay to steal, it's okay to be famous, it's okay as long as you're rich, it's okay to you be number one in the world. No, they're quoting all the Western values. They drop all their beautiful Chinese the Chinese wisdom. So I'm confused. Now I'm hoping that James Bond, the next one, will bring back wisdom to the world. Of espionage. Yes, 6. I told you no more questions, but go ahead, quick one.
Just a comment, Master. Thank you. I can't help when you start talking about movies.
You get excited too, huh? It's such a beautiful, beautiful human creation.
Personally, I don't see much wisdom coming in the next James Bond films, so I wouldn't personally go that direction. But a wonderful Chinese movie I just watched about enlightenment is The Birth of the Dragon, the story of Bruce Lee living in San Francisco when he had a challenge with a Shaolin monk.
It's too white for me. Yes, 8. You know, let the 6 finish and let the white people finish what they want to say.
And no spoilers, but the Shaolin monks going through a cycle of penance for something he did in China. And the only reason he would take a fight is if he can offer his combatant enlightenment. Which I found very compelling in the story.
Okay, very good. That's 3. 8 gave up. 3, go ahead, 3.
Master, I recently saw the new Matrix movie, and it was so good.
Resurrection.
Yeah, that one.
You forgot the title?
No, it's just the new Matrix movie.
Tiana says, yeah, I saw it too. I love it. No, you didn't see it? Yeah. And? Is there a point?
No, just saying it was a good movie.
No wonder. I do not like Colombian movies. Yes, 8.
Master, I would suggest that the next Jambon would listen to our lecture, Chanchi lecture, so that they have more idea for the next movie.
Okay, I hope so too. Thank you, everyone. We stop here tonight, and you all did very well. Thank you, and very.